If you're a heating air conditioning technician or a salesperson and you're getting recruited, what do you need to know? This is an important question. I'm Scott Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. So here's the thing. There is going to be a point in your career where a company owner, somebody on behalf of a company owner reaches out and they said, hey, we've heard your name and we heard you're fantastic at what you do. Now, this is an amazing ego stroke. This is where you're like, oh my goodness, I've made it to the promised land. And that's what they want. So I want to share with you the good and the bad of being recruited. So as a technician, as a salesperson, time is against you and your body, okay? So you only have so much time that you can crawl around on your knees in an attic, that you can kneel next to a condenser, that you can be in tight spaces, that you can take the heat. And the reason I say this is if you take a look at it and say, like, I have 20 years to be a technician. I'm 25 right now. I only want to be a technician until I'm 45, and then I have other goals after that. There's only so much money in the pool of things that you can do and things that you can make. Now, your goals are not my goals, and my goals aren't your goals, but you do have to look at this as some sort of a vision and say, how do I look and structure my life, and what do I do? And so there's going to be a time where a company person comes to you and says, hey, we want you to be an employee where we work. And the thing that they're going to throw at you is money. Now, money is cool, but it can't be the only thing that you're looking for if you're going to leave. And this is why it's really important for you to have, like, what are the reasons why I like working where I work? And you're going to have to make your list of reasons. I don't know you. So what are the reasons why you like working where you work? Hey, they're flexible with my schedule. You know, they pay me once I hit this number, I get bonused out. You know, there may be a list of things that you really like and you're like, no, I'm good. I'm happy where I'm at. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of fantastic companies. There are a lot of fantastic owners. And if you got it good, you got it good. You stay where you're at, okay? But like, let's say that things go sideways. Let's take the example that things go sideways where things aren't as good as they used to be. At some point, you're going to get reached out to and someone's going to say, hey, come work for me. Well, you should have a list of things that you're looking for. You should have a list of like, why do I like working where I work and what would keep me happy? This is why you should join HVACTechSecrets.com, because I give you the goods, not in the Facebook group or on the YouTube channel, and you got to know that. So your list isn't going to be everybody else's list. This is going to be personal between you and your significant other, maybe about your kids, because sometimes when you get recruited, it's like, hey, Scott, you live in Sacramento. Do you want to move to Texas? Hey, Scott, you live in Sacramento. Do you want to move to Florida? Hey, Scott, do you want to move to Minnesota? No, Minnesota. Nope, it's too cold. Don't want to be there. So like acquisition criteria is something that I teach for companies on a weekly basis. Like if you're going to acquire something through mergers and acquisitions, you need to have your own acquisition criteria for where you want to work. Because at some point, things are really good. You probably work for an amazing company, and that's fantastic. But there may be a point where they hire a manager that is a devil, El Diablo. And they, let's say, bring in family members, or let's say they bring in technicians that they know. And you used to have a position, you used to have a role with an old manager. Now it's gone. It might be a requirement of yours to say, I want to be treated better for where I'm at. Cool. Your list is not my list. My list isn't your list, but I'm going to give you really what I see as the five negotiating strategies that you can have. And the first is always going to be money, right? Money, here's my bonus when I hit my numbers. And as a salesperson, you should always look at step-up basis. And step-up basis means if I close at 55%, this is what I get. If I close at 60%, this is what I get. If I close at 65%, this is what I get. And those numbers are better. And business owners will be like, Scott, why are you telling my salespeople that? Because if you got a salesperson who's performing and they're bringing in better numbers, you're having a lower cost of marketing. Like, it only behooves you to reward somebody for a step-up basis when they do good, because it gives them incentive to do better, okay? Could be schedule. Like, I don't want to work Mondays. I want to work Tuesday through Saturday. Okay, I want to work during the week, and I want to work every other Saturday. That's schedule. It could be vacation. Hey, I had a company come to me and say, hey, Scott, we know you're amazing at what you do. We want you to work for us. I go, great. Just so you know, I only work 8 months out of the year. The other 4 I spend in Hawaii. And they said, can you deliver the numbers that we want? And can we achieve these things? And I said, absolutely. And they said, well, if we don't achieve those numbers, we're going to take away your vacation time. And I said, you're going to achieve those numbers. That's not a question. It's going to happen. But I need help from your management, right? These are the things that I'm going to need for your team. So like, you really need to think through these things. It could be education. Hey, look, I'm more than willing to come work for you, but I want to take these classes. I want this part of my education paid for. I want to have an account that I can spend $2,000 a month off of and allows me to take classes that aren't necessarily about heating and air. It could be about anything that I want. It could be a position. Hey, here's the thing. I'm willing to be a technician in this role, in this capacity, and have these responsibilities. But what you need to know is at year number 5, I don't want to be out in the field anymore. I'm to the point where my knees hurt, my elbows hurt, and I want this in writing. Okay? So you need to know that you could have everything you want at the company that you're at, and you don't necessarily need to move. There could be problems where you're at. I would at least give the opportunity to the person that you work with to say, hey, look, here's what the options are. I love working here. And like, if you don't love working where you're at, you shouldn't say this. But if you do love where you're working here, say, hey, look, I love working here. I got some other offers on the table. I'd love to stay. Can we work something out? Right? At least give the opportunity to the company where you're at. My belief, you don't have to do this. Okay? Just my belief. Because a lot of times when somebody's invested you, they might come back and they go, hey, what's happening? And they might not know the problems that are going on inside of the organization. And if you've given them the opportunity and you've shared, biggity bounce. So the thing is this is your job to work towards this. And, you know, there's only so many people you see move on before you want a piece of the pie. I've been a technician for 10 years. I want to do better. Hey, cool. Nothing wrong with that. You know, here is what I would do. If company A came and recruited me and I worked over here at company 1 and they're like, hey, Scott, we've got this role. We got these things. I'd ask a lot of questions. Under what circumstances does this not happen? Are there ever times where this doesn't come true? Are you putting this in writing? And then, you know, maybe spend a couple $100 and go take it to an attorney. Because you're talking about changing your life. You're changing companies, you're changing jerseys, you're changing vehicles. Nothing worse than making a bad decision and then gotten to go knock on the door of company 1 and saying, hey, I'd love to come back to work for you. And they're like, sorry, no position for you. Okay? So ask lots of questions. And then here's the thing. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Every company has problems. Every company has issues. Give the opportunity, give them a window. I would like, not like as a demand, okay? I would like to see a couple of things change. Here's the things that are bothering me. And some of those things may be able to be changed and some of them not. Like, I remember, guy came to me and he was like, hey, Scott, I know that you're on the management team. I love the company. I love what I do, but I don't like this person. I want you to get rid of that person. I'm like, that's not, like, when you take a look at the ladder inside of the organization, I don't have any control over that. So if you're saying, hey, Scott, I want to get this guy fired, I'm like, I'm not going to collude with you. I don't have the capability of doing that. I'm not going to make a promise that I can't keep. Right? Nope, not going to do it. So just be aware that there is opportunity for you. Now, last of all, there is the leaving guilt trip. If you've tried, you've had the conversations, you've said, hey, like, here's my concerns, and nothing happens, be aware you're probably going to get a guilt trip. Well, we picked you up, we brought you from nothing, you know, we trained you, we put in all the work and effort, how dare you? At the end of the day, the company's going to have to do what's right for them. You're going to have to do what's right for you. That's your decision. But at some point, if you're good at what you do, you will get recruited. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Have your criteria, know what you want, and if you look and you're like, the grass isn't really greener, there may not be a reason for you to leave. Give your owner the opportunity. That's just my belief. It may not be yours. There you go. You got this. We'll see you soon.